So we've got a dominant victory in the 4x200m freestyle relay.
Yeah, Tom Dean, Duncan Scott, James Guy and Matt Richards came within 0.03 seconds of a world record in what was a stunning performance. Thrilled that Matthew's parents, Simon and Amanda, join us now this morning.
Did you say Matthew because you know that's what his parents call him?
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
much more formal. He's an Olympic gold medalist. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's a bit weird, Ben. I'm not going to lie. I've said I've had worse Wednesdays.
Yeah, it was very surreal.
Your voices sound a little bit hoarse. Have you been doing a lot of shouting?
Yeah, definitely. Lots of shouting. Just unbelievable.
Can you try, Simon, can you try and I mean, obviously, your son is only 18. He's a mere pup in amongst a very experienced team and a team that had such extraordinary success in the individual 200 metres just yesterday, of course. I mean, how was it? Did you speak to him before the race? How was he feeling going into this? And what's it like for you two to have to sit and go through the trauma and the nerves of watching them compete?
Yeah, the trauma and the nerves are quite unreal. I said to Amanda middle of the day yesterday, this parenting thing doesn't get any easier, does it? It feels like a very, very long time since he was 8 years old and started at his first swimming club. We spoke to him yesterday and he was buzzing, really, really excited. And felt a huge degree of responsibility to Calum Jarvis. And I need to mention Calum. Yeah. Calum swam in the heats and did an amazing job, which allowed us to rest Duncan Scott. And then, unfortunately, Calum didn't get to swim in the final. He'll still get his gold medal because he's a hugely important part of the team. Matt felt a huge responsibility for Calum that Matt had to do his bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And as for the nerves, Ben, oh my goodness, honestly, I honestly thought today, and I am really hoarse, I honestly thought today I was actually going to throw up at the start of the race. It's the closest I've come in all the years I've been watching him swimming. Oh. It's really close.
So he was the third leg of the relay, wasn't he? And we all know what it's like, or Ben and I know what it's like, and parents everywhere know what it's like when you watch your kids do sports day. You've obviously seen him compete. He's only 18. You obviously are terribly proud of him, whatever he did. But the fact that it's the Olympics, when he starts that bit of his leg, I just describe what's going through your body.
Oh, I think for me, I was literally praying because I just needed him to do a safe takeover, because the last thing you want in a team event like that is for there to be an unsafe takeover and they get disqualified. So that responsibility to the guys he was swimming with and to Calum as well, to make sure that he got that right was just utterly terrifying. So that was the worst bit for me.
Almost that feeling of, right, his bit's done, I can relax now, and then you suddenly...
Well, here's the interesting thing, Simon, is that his leg, I mean, it was very tight until his leg. And then, people who know a lot more than me, and I was listening to the analysis on the way in this morning, they were talking about what a crucial leg he did, because he kind of broke the Americans, and it meant that by the time we got to the last leg, and that Duncan could take over, that he more or less had clear water and he just had to go for the line. It was an extraordinary leg, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was thrilled with it. I'm not going to lie. He started it really well, started it very controlled, and then just built and, as you say, broke the Americans, which is always important. And by the time it got to handing over to Dunks, the race was over. You're handing over to one of the greatest swimmers the country's ever seen. Largely accepted as the best finisher in world swimming. So the race was over. At that point, it just became really interesting. How close were they going to get to the world record?
And to be fair, I think Tom and Jimmy had set Matt up so well for that third leg. So, it is very much a team effort. It really is. They're just incredible.
And they're thrilled as they are now, I know, having the gold medal. Will they sort of sit down afterwards and sort of rue the fact that they were 0.03 seconds off that world record? Will there be any disappointment there, do you think?
No, not disappointment at all. They absolutely will go down there. The performance analysts will go through it all with them. They'll break it down into absolute fine detail as to how they can go quicker next time. Be under no illusions, that world record is going to come.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the 2009 so-called super suits, the shiny suits that have been banned because they were too quick. It was Michael Phelps, Ryan Lochte and two other Americans set that world record. it stood a long time, and our boys are going to beat that.
Yeah,
I love that.
They weren't a bad quartet, were they? Right? That was Michael Lochte.
No.
I mean, that's an extraordinary foursome.
And great that they're in the same bracket. I mean, at 18 years old, it's amazing.
Our boys didn't have super suits. They were just doing it in their budgie smugglers. They were just amazing.
Kind of.
I love the budgie smugglers.
I sort of, we were talking to Jackie, Tom Dean's mum, yesterday, and she was saying, when you start out on this path, any parent that sort of, and you talked about Matt being 8 when he went to his first swimming club, when you think about what you are going to have to go through as parents to take him to the meets around the country and the hours that you spend sitting by hot swimming pools and the early hours that you have to get up, would you ever really sign up for it if you thought this was what was going to happen? Clearly,
no,
on the day...
I can honestly say, Ben, we did a swim day with Becky Adlington many, many years ago, and I can remember listening to her mum talking about getting up at the crack of dawn to take her daughter into... Even when Becky could drive, she still got up with her to make sure she got there safely. And I can remember sitting there through that talk thinking, oh my goodness, I don't think I could ever do that. And then because I'm a teacher, I ended up taking Matt to training in Wolverhampton, which is about an hour away, during all the holidays when he was boarding there. So I would be up at 3:30 in the morning, sleep in the car whilst he was training up there with my duvet and my pillow.
So
drive back.
This medal is partly yours and the parents of the others as well, isn't it? I mean, that's the effort that goes in. And, of course, all the coaches and trainers and everybody's involved. I was intrigued. And, I mean, one of the things that I guess must help you is the dedication he showed as well. You're not dragging him there. He's pulling you there to all those things. And in lockdown, he wasn't going to be defeated, wasn't he, because he couldn't swim. He did his training in the paddling pool.
Yeah, he did. For us, Kate, it's always been about supporting him and helping him to achieve whatever he was going to achieve. I've said since he was very, very young, in the nicest possible way, I didn't care what he achieved. It was helping him to get to that point. Last year was really, really difficult for everybody, obviously. The lockdown and the global pandemic hit him was really difficult. Swimming works, the end of the season, the swimmers have 2 weeks off to rest, to recuperate, to decompress. And every year, those 2 weeks is really difficult for Matt because he just loves being in the water. So we saw online a Dutch open water swimmer, I think her name's Sharon van Ruwendaal, and my apologies if I massacre her name. She'd done something similar, and we thought we need to look into that. So we found what is a glorified paddling pool, 5 metres long, 3 metres wide and a metre deep. Set that up in the back garden with some bungee cords attached to the garage wall, and he was in and he was swimming, and that kept his feel for the water until such time as British Swimming were able to get 32 swimmers back into the water, and he was selected to go down to Bath and start training down there. And that was just fraught with difficulty as well. When we were looking at the pools that we could get, we had to find one that was really deep so that it was long enough for his arms.
Yeah. Wow.
And then the bungee cord as well. We tried lots of different bungee cords, and one of the first ones that we tried, he actually broke whilst he was swimming, and it pinged against his back. And then this little dog here used to think that he would be panicking, thinking that he was drowning in the pool. So would run around the pool barking at him, wanting to save him.
It sounds like it was perfect conditioning for all the stress he's going to have actually in the pool if he's got to avoid the dog.
You're not going to be daunted by other swimmers now. You've got a dog splashing next to you.
Has the paddling pool come in handy during the heat wave, though? I'd imagine that you've been able to enjoy that a little bit, Simon?
No, the paddling pool went. We sold that. A family down just outside Swansea bought that because Matt was lucky enough to get back into the water. There were lots and lots of people around the country doing the same thing and trying to help their kids and their families. So we sold that on because he was down at the Bath National Centre. So somebody down in Swansea has got a pool that we should have put his name on.
Yeah, well, it's a medal-winning paddling pool in that garden.
It should be the Matt Richards paddling pool of dreams. It's going to be real. Just quickly, have you managed to speak to him since they won?
No, not yet. We've had a text message from him with a photograph of a gold medal in his hand, which is quite amazing. But no, we haven't had a chance to speak to him. He's been doing lots of media, managed to get a swim down. And then they're waiting for their drug tests at the moment because they all get drugs tested, which is absolutely right and proper. So they're just waiting for that. So hopefully at some point we'll get a chance to speak to him.
Well, look, you send him our love and say well done from all of us here, everyone around the country. You don't need us to tell you how proud we are of all 4 of them and you as well. I mean, it's amazing, Amanda, hearing you talk about sleeping in the car just so you could get into training and then you could get back home. It's the commitment from the parents, the family, the extended team is incredible. Thank you so much for sharing those thoughts with us this morning. We're so proud for you.
Thanks, you guys. And can I just say to Kate as well, I just want to say that you and your husband are a massive inspiration as well. I'm a big fan of the show.
Kind.
And seriously, you have been so brave and so courageous over the last 18 months. So I just want to send you my love. So
thank you so much. I was just about to say to Ben after that, is this where we're going wrong as parents? Because we've never given as much. But you saying that has made me feel slightly better. Thank you so much. And what you're doing and what your son's done and what all the teams do is lifting everyone's spirits.
Undoubtedly.
So that is fun.
Roll on, Paris. We can't wait to see him in the pool again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, you, Amanda.
Guys.
Thank you, Simon.
Take care. Bye.